let's bring in ABC News policy reporter Ann Flaherty and ABC News medical contributor and epidemiologist Dr. John Brownstein for more on this. Dr. Brownstein, what should people do in the meantime if they can't get the antibiotics they're looking for?
I know this is so frustrating, Diane. You know, because of the rush on demand, this triple-demic, the amount of illness that we're having in the pediatric population, we just didn't forecast this amount of need for these antibiotics. This is why it's going to be frustrating, but you can shop around. They are available. It just might take a little bit of time. You should talk to your provider, your pharmacist about potentially alternatives. There's online options like GoodRx where you could potentially find these prescriptions, and you just may have to wait a day or two for restocking. So these prescription drugs are out there. It's just going to take a little bit of time for those parents to find them.
And what's the administration doing to try to troubleshoot this?
So, of course, Diane, the administration says that they are monitoring this very closely. They say that these kinds of blips in the system are not surprising, particularly coming off of the pandemic. You know, but I think it's worth noting that the FDA Commissioner, Bob Califf, has noted that there really is a lack of visibility for the government to try to track these supply chains and distribution patterns. You know, a lot of this is private data that the companies have, and they say that they're trade secrets, that they don't want to necessarily be talking about how their supply chains are formed and their distribution patterns, because that could give their competitors an advantage.
Now, the antibiotics are one thing, but then there are also over-the-counter painkillers, cold medicines, Tamiflu, that kind of thing, where the country has enough, but it's not always in the right places. So the result is the same. People go to their pharmacy and it's out of stock. Why is that happening, and what's being done about that?
Right. Well, and that's certainly a problem that, you know, as you see these flu cases rise in certain areas, that demand will spike. You can't always predict where those flu cases will rise first. So, you know, of course, when we talk to the companies that make these drugs, they say we have enough in the factories. It's just a question of whether or not these chain pharmacies will reorder. So the big question that we have, obviously, is how long will it take? And as John mentioned, you wanted to shop around. You know, you might have to drive a little bit farther. The medicine is there. For the most part, it's just a question of finding it.
And Dr. Brownstein, on the vaccine front, the FDA has now authorized this updated COVID shot for children as young as 6 months. So how significant is this, and what do parents need to know?
Well, this is a big deal because, of course, we now have a better match vaccine, the bivalent vaccine. It's better matched to the circulating variant of COVID right now. We are about to hit a potential COVID wave. We're seeing increases in wastewater, in cases, hospitalizations across the country right now. So getting those kids over 6 months, that protection is super important. And we've always recognized that we needed those additional shots to bring up the immunity. So for Moderna, that's that third shot that they'll get. For Pfizer, they can replace that third shot with this new bivalent. If they've had all three, we're going to have to wait to see for more data whether they need that fourth shot. But overall, really good, though we know that uptake in these younger kids is very low. You know, under 10% of those kids have gotten that shot. So hopefully this will sway some parents in the direction of getting their kids protection.
All right, Ann Flaherty, Dr. John Brownstein, in person, I might add, for the first time. Dr. Brownstein and I are finally meeting in person. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.